you with my listeners and my audience. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited.
You are so welcome. And I too am honored to be on your podcast as well. Your energy is just so bright. And as soon as I saw this invite, I intuitively felt like my guides and God was like, this is a great lady and a wonderful spiritual being. So I'm honored to be on your podcast as well.
Oh, so great. So we're going to dive into so much stuff, and I bet the conversation can run wild. And for the listeners, it's perfect. I've got a lot of ladies in my realm and in my world that really need to hear this stuff today. So we're going to be talking a lot about body image, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, which is a really passionate topic from my heart, and recovery there. But what I most love is the spiritual healing and the intuitive healing with our bodies, and how it's so pivotal and so important for our healing journey. And of course, I've got a lot of health conscious ladies in the audience that, you know, are after weight loss and feeling and looking their best. And I think it's really important to be connecting with, you know, connecting to your body and the spiritual side for their journeys to be long term, right? For that healing to happen.
Exactly. It is true. Everything is at a spiritual root. So if we don't go in and energetically shift and heal those wounds underneath, then anything we try to do on our external won't be a long-term healed effect. So yes, spot on, extremely spot on.
Yeah, so it's taken me years to actually connect to that myself. I've been on my own spiritual journey for the last couple of years, and I've been in the industry and working on myself for, you know, well over a decade, 15, 20 years. And just this last 4 or 5 years, I've really noticed for myself and for my clients that it's a pivotal piece of the puzzle, right? So it's amazing. I collected some questions from the clients and that are relevant to our audience. And yes. Are you happy to dive into some of these and just see where that goes?
Yes, let's go for it. 100%.
Awesome. So these are from I've got a group called The Body for Life. It's a coaching transformation group, and you know, we coach on nutrition, weight loss, we coach on mindset. It's massive to me. So these come straight from them, right? And there'll be a few from me too. But have you got any advice on how to accept who you see in the mirror?
Absolutely. So this is a big one. And definitely my heart goes out to so many people feeling the inner struggle with this work and not knowing where to even start with not liking what you see in the mirror. So, yes. So the question was how to begin loving who you see in the mirror. The start off with this is with energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed, right? So first we have to acknowledge the negative emotions that we're feeling around what we see in the mirror, which is the scary part. And I get it, but our guides, our angels, they love us so much and they want us to face this obstacle because we wouldn't be going through this unless we were supposed to learn from it, okay? Life is about learning lessons, constantly learning. We're divine, we're ever evolving. So when we first face the negative emotions of what we see in the mirror by writing it out on paper, crying it out, letting out how you feel about how you don't like what you see, that is the number one key point.
Yeah,
and then acknowledging it, but then coming from a space of gratitude for this actually happening, because now you know how not to treat yourself. Okay, so when we see a distorted image that we don't like and we catch ourselves like being hard on ourselves, now we know how not to talk to ourselves, right? So when we see a distorted image, acknowledge it, get grateful. And then this is where the new energetic shifts are going to occur, where we start instilling new beliefs in our system, okay? So we are more than our bodies. So by that, I mean, we're attributes. we're caring, we're loving, we're divine, we are passionate beings. Okay. So I always tell all my clients, I'm like, what is one way that you demonstrated how you were caring today? And they're like, Amanda, why are you having me do this? And I'm like, well, when you let go of those negative emotions, now you're making room for more positive emotions for you to see all the positive, amazing attributes that you have. You are more than your body. And once I get my clients to start seeing and adding a reason why they were caring today, how were they loving today? And literally, it's just the small things. It can even be the small things like you were caring because you went to bed early last night. You were loving because you gave your father a hug today, or, you know, and writing all these attributes down and then reading them back every single morning. And slowly over time, they begin loving who they see in the mirror, which is, it's a very powerful energetic exercise that I do with my clients.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And like, it makes sense, right? We can't change our bodies or anything from a space of negativity, and we need to be appreciating what we currently have. And I love how you use just a small tweak for people, because I know if they're in that space to begin with, and we know that's just resistance, right? So that's going to hinder any process. They're in that negative space. It feels really hard, and they can't believe themselves if they just go, oh, you're amazing, you look so great. Your mind's going, I don't believe you here. So, and we need to be believing what we're saying. So I love that the small little things feel possible for people, and over time you can see how that's going to help them change their shift from a negative to a neutral to the positive space, so that they can then be working on themselves with less resistance, and believing it, and that repetition. So doing that every day, and not just once or twice, doing it every day and building that repetition. You know, psychology and any habits that we have is repetition, right, to create those new pathways and our inner beliefs. And how simple, you know, one simple thing is what did you do really well today? And I think a lot of ladies out there are so tough on themselves, and they make it feel so big. But if they can celebrate and acknowledge a small thing that they have done well, then you can see that so much easier. So I love that piece of advice there, is keeping it really small and simple.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, as well, like literally it's about building those new neural pathways, as you said, and that's where the energetic work comes in. We're literally suffocating the old neural pathway that's like being negative, and we're feeding the new positive bright neural pathway, and we're making it stronger and stronger, while this negative one is shrinking and getting so small, you know. And because when we see a distorted image, it's more than body dysmorphia is more than just body dysmorphia. It's a manifestation of the way we're speaking to ourselves on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you know, and going downstream and not going upstream, you know, like not trying to swim up the stream and go from the negative space. So I think that's really pivotal for ladies to start acknowledging and working on, and quantum leaps in that inner world, right? If they start and begin here, rather than looking at the superficial, you know, nutrition training, if they begin with these small changes, their journey is going to be so much quicker, right? So that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So another question one of my ladies has was how to enjoy the body that you have and not want the bodies you see on social media. So this topic, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. This one is, oh my gosh. Yes, it is definitely like, oh my gosh, my love, my heart goes out to so many women and men too. It's amongst every gender that are going through this, because oh my gosh, I channeled so much even before this podcast about this card. So I'm going to look down at my notes for some of it, because it's just so So firstly, I'll talk about the social media part.
Mm-hmm.
So what we see on social media is a lot of so much editing happens on social media. What we see really isn't what the human body is supposed to look like, or even what the human body looks like for real. We have women and men too, posed in really contorted, uncomfortable positions, taken at such intricate angles. And then our children are seeing these poses and they're seeing these photoshopped photos of these people that it's not even real. And then we have
Mm-hmm.
body happening worldwide because of this false perception of reality. And energetically, when people see it, it's building these toxic pathways of something that they think that they're supposed to look like. And in reality, it's why my heart just goes out to so many people dealing with this. And another thing, so just knowing that is something so powerful, and it's what's helped me stop comparing myself to people on social media. And I'm starting to like vet my not my photos, my people I follow,
Yes.
because I intuitively go in and I see, okay, or have they edited this, and is it not real? And now I'm able to tap in and see that this is not healthy for me to follow. I'm going to unfollow it. I'm now choosing to follow the real, real authentic accounts.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That is a huge step. Following authentic accounts and just really putting yourself first, because it's important to treat ourselves as if you are taking care of your inner child. Because how would you treat like your child? Picture yourself as your child. You wouldn't expose your child to false perceptions that could hurt yourself down the road. So definitely just vetting your everything that you're looking at is definitely going to help with comparing to others on social media. And let me see if I put anything else here. Also, when a lot of people post on social media, there's literally thought processes that are infused into different posts to make you buy the product, which
Mm.
is up, it's
The
like,
dangling carrot.
oh yes, yes. Like let's say someone's trying to sell some sort of diet that they think works so well, and they'll make a post about it, and it'll show someone at a really intricate angle and everything. But aside from the editing that happens in the photo to sell their diet, even they'll infuse thought processes in there. They'll set intentions into that photo to make people uncomfortable with the way they feel now in order to hypnotize you to buy their product, which is messed up. So messed up. There's companies like that. So that's another thing to help
Remember.
our society stop comparing, because there's a lot of that going on, with
Yeah.
businesses and things.
You're so right. And I think that's so pivotal for people to just acknowledge that social media is social media, and it's the sooner you realize it's not, it's not what it seems, and a photo can be so different, like even us when we meet someone. I remember meeting someone from social media there, and I was like, oh, you're so much shorter, even that kind of thing,
Yeah,
so you just
yeah,
don't know. And I think that what you said is really important about just knowing that things get changed in a photo, or especially if they're a coach or selling something, that there is intention behind the post and the picture. And another really good thing I learned a long time ago was that if you, and I get my clients as well to do a bit of a social media detox, and if they're getting a comparison feeling, to delete that person, or and we're all just individuals, and it's a
yeah,
it's a trigger in a way, isn't it, to see someone and go, oh, I want that body, but I don't have that. And so there is a mirror. I'm not sure of the actual technical terms, but we have in psychology. I love psychology as well. So we have
yes.
where if we surround ourselves with women more our body shape and more our body size, we become comfortable and accept ourselves a hell of a lot more. But if we are looking at fitness models who, that's their job and they've got abs and they're lean, and we're not like that, that's where our dysmorphic thoughts come in, and that's where the comparison comes in, because we're not like that. And so if you start actually following people more your shape and size, you will have more self-acceptance. And that was a really big tool that I learned a long time ago. But I definitely agree with going through your social media and not putting yourself in that position, getting rid of it.
Exactly. And I love what you said about surrounding yourself with more body types that are real and more body types that are yours, to show like your mind that you are a miracle and that you aren't the only person with your body type. There's like literally, I feel like there's only like one or two body types that are really shown amongst social media, which up like we're all a fingerprint and we are so unique. And that brings me to the next part of what I'm going to say about how to embrace your body and not compare. Like your method of surrounding your clients with people who are like them, it is so brilliant, Aimee, because literally before we were born, so I had channeled this before we were born. Literally, we had to sit down with God. You know, our spirits are all chilling up there. You know, we had to sit down with him and we literally spoke about what we are going to look like when we are on this earth. And it was for a reason. Our soul. Yes, to learn a lesson, and to fulfill our grand purpose, because all of us each have an incredible divine purpose. I know there's so many people on this earth. Some of my clients are like, how is my purpose so unique if there's so many people? Well, you're divine. God is immense. Like literally, he has been able to intricately have a meeting with each and every one of us to make this incredible soul contract to be in the human body that you are in this lifetime. And not a single part about you is a mistake at all, from your hair color to your nationality to your eye color to your little pinky on your right hand. Like, it is all meant for a destined purpose. So nothing is ever a mistake. So definitely that is something that can help a lot of us women and men out there stop comparing, because think of it this way. Why compare when your body is your unique divine spacesuit on this earth? Like, your soul chose it. And your soul is this ever evolving, like incredible energetic essence that is even hard to put into words. So that'll help a lot, I think.
I love that so much. And I totally, you know, we are, like, I've heard this before about, you know, we learn things as a soul before we move into, you know, our next creation. And so every time we are here, we're learning something new, and it is lessons. So I love that. I love that thought. And it's another permission slip for you to accept who you are, and that you get to create who you are as well.
You do. And that's what's so fun. You get to watch your higher self. Higher you know, but higher self is the part of us that's always watching over us and who is constantly erupting out of us as our time goes on this earth. And it is, some people might call it, what's the word for it? Like an awakening or reaching enlightenment. Some people call it that, but it's the essence of where you can fully embody your higher self. And that's where creating yourself comes in, because you're like, well, like I offer meditations to see your higher self and things like that. I channel it for everyone personally. And time again, when my clients see what their higher self looks like, I see an explosion of customization of who they are, and just an amazing, immense like transformation of like, wow, like they saw what their higher self looks like, so they are down to customize her. And it's very, very just mind-blowing what happens when we know. Like, you know,
I've had this experience with a breathwork workshop I went to, and it's mind-blowing when you are taken there and you see, you're like, is that my imagination? What is going on here? It's an amazing experience. Yeah, absolutely. So I love that, and I think it's really important. And again, it's another self-acceptance step in the process, and just to know you are you and no one else is that person, and you can't be anybody else. You can't be in anybody else's body. So
Exactly.
it's nearly such a pointless thing, isn't it, to compare? And like, I understand where people are coming from with that, and it's something just to learn, acknowledge, and work on, like everything else we need to be doing. So thank you for that. That's awesome. So the next question was, have you got any tips? And I love this one on self-love. Oh, how not to compare. We kind of talked about that. But let's say maybe the self-love avenue on it. I know for me, coming from eating disorders, I used to be an athlete as well. I've also lost 30 kilo a few times. And so it's been like this roller coaster life. And I used to think, well, what is self-love? And so I actually love to refer to it as self-respect as well as self-love. And like you said before, I've got a 17-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old daughter. I am so passionate about showing them how not to compare, how to love and respect themselves, so that they can be a well-rounded adult and save them from 30 years of yo-yo dieting and comparing. So I'm really passionate about self-respect and self-love and coming from that space. So what tips have you got on learning to love and respect yourself?
Of course. Oh my gosh. Well, this is another loaded question, Aimee. So, self-love and self-respect. So, now, once again, we go through things in life to learn from it. And with my story, my journey is self-love and self-respect. So, when, from an intuitive standpoint, throughout life, so first I'm going to go through an intuitive standpoint, and then I'm going to go through an energetic healing standpoint. Okay. So,
Yeah.
intuitive, yeah, our spirit. With my story, I went through a time when, I just really wanted to be an actress, and so much respect to actresses out there and everything. But during that time, I was in a relationship at the time that it didn't feel so healthy, and I was wondering, I was like, why is he treating me the way I don't want him to be treating him, the way that I don't want to be treated? And I had some rough patches with my family at the time too, and I was like, what's going on? And what is interesting is that everything around us, between how people treat us to the experiences that are happening outside of us, is a direct reflection of what's going on inside.
Yes.
So it's incredible, right? And I would go to work. Sometimes my boss would yell at me, and I'd be like, why is he yelling at me? Like, I'm a good person. And yes, we are good people, but higher self and our souls and God love us so much that they don't want us to just not learn anything in life. They want us to learn how to respect and love ourselves. So as I learned that everything is a reflection, it was like a whirlwind. I was like, whoa. So people are talking to me rudely because I don't talk to myself with love. So then I immediately took a step back, and I was like, wow, I need to talk to myself with more love to shift my environment, because we're in so much control. We have more control than we think of our environment. And because our environment is a reflection. So if we make the internal shift, our environment will change. Right. So a big thing with self-love is I learned that I needed to speak to myself with more respect first. I would catch myself every time. I'd be like, oh, Amanda, why'd you do that? I'd be like, wait, no, I mean, Amanda, that's okay that you did that. Like, it's okay. We made mistakes. I started talking to myself like I'm my own child, and after that, then I started looking at the experiences in my life with let's see with the way my old relationship was, like, he didn't put me first, and I thought to myself, where in my life don't I put myself first? So then I started putting myself first more, and then in that relationship he started putting me first more, and I was like, wow, this is powerful work, right? And so definitely something to help with raising our kids, with helping your daughter. And I'll talk about habits for self-love, but also, yeah, also teaching her that throughout life, like, you're going to do your best, mama. You are going to do your very best, my love. But she's going to go through experiences in life that she's going to have to learn herself. So the best thing you can do is say, life is going to teach you what's going on inside. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
I really love that. And I think some people get that reflection wrong. They think, oh, well, if it's a reflection of what I'm doing, but I'm not treating that person like that. But it's not how you're treating someone else, it's not that kind of reflection. It is on what you need on the inside and what's happening in here. So I love that
Yeah.
you were touching on this, because a lot of people get confused about that, that whole analogy and that whole, you know, that side of things, is that the reflection isn't, you're not treating that person like that, and they're treating like, it's not that kind of reflection. It's like what you said, well, I'm not putting myself first, or I might be allowing something that I actually don't want to. So my higher self is not feeling aligned right now, and I need to get back into alignment for my
Yeah.
environment around me to not be falling down. And I've had this myself the last 2 weeks, felt really wobbly. My car broke down, my internet wouldn't work, some things like that was happening, and I had to go, whoa, you know,
Yes.
I missed appointments, someone else missed an appointment, and I was like, what's going on? Because this never happened, you know, anymore. It doesn't really, used to happen a lot, but and I sat back and went, what am I not doing? And I wasn't, you know, I wasn't doing my taking the time for my training. I ended up booking clients and when I was meant to train, and I wasn't doing that self-care and putting me first. And when you do reground, reset, get back into alignment, then your environment definitely does clear up. And so I love that reflection. I think that's a great topic to talk about, because a lot of people get that wrong. And when one thing starts wobbling, a lot starts to wobble.
It's amazing. It's like a domino effect, my love.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And when you said about your car breaking down, all these things happening, oh my gosh, that gave me chills, because it's all of that too. And I am so excited to talk about that, because it's more than our relationships. If our relationships trigger us, it's about an internal shift we have to change, but also about the outer experiences, especially like everything means something spiritually, and that's what I go into with my clients. I'm like, higher self is telling you this because this is what this means. So for example, like with cars, especially cars, they symbolize, let me just channel this so it's perfect. So cars symbolize our spacesuit on this earth. Almost, there's almost like our body, drive through, right? The experience of life. So if something happens in our car, it symbolizes something. So last week, I actually popped my tire. And so my tires are now off balance. So I was like, God, what are you telling me? So I sat, I meditated, I channeled, I asked, I was like, God, what is going on? I was getting balance. Okay, balance. And then, oh my gosh, I'm off balance in my life. Where is it? And I intuitively went in and pinpointed it, and it's sleep. I needed more sleep. Wow.
So I love that. I love that, because so many people say, why is this happening to me? And like, and to know, like, it's awesome that you can channel that and know what it means. So I love that. And it's something for clients to know, that they can, come and follow you, and you can go on TikTok and they can go on Instagram, and we'll talk about that, of course, more, but because, we might not know what that means, but you can come and ask, and connect with someone that might know, if you're interested in helping in those areas. Because I believe that too, that things are happening for a reason, and there's something connected to it. And if you don't know, go and hang out with someone that does, so you can work on that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm so grateful that people are looking into their intuitive abilities now, because it's something that's always existed, but there's definitely more people coming out of the intuitive closet, I like to say, and into their gifts that they knew that they always had. And yes, definitely, most definitely, people are more than welcome to come to me and ask, and I can channel. And it's part of the services I offer as well. But also, when I see clients, I begin to teach them how to do it themselves so they can be self-sufficient. So that they go in and intuitively test, because God gave us all intuition so that we can communicate with him. It's what keeps us connected to source, it keeps us connected. It's very,
and I love that, and I use it a lot, and I simplify it, of course, for my clients. And it's just like, we know what feels good and we know what doesn't feel good. Then you've got a choice to stay with what doesn't feel good, or choose the better feeling thought, the better feeling action, or the better feeling thing. And just starting with connecting there and trusting your gut. Like, your gut, you know what feels good and what doesn't, what's creating resistance and what's not. So I think that's a real great starting point for those just early on in the journey, to start connecting to self-mastery, right? Knowing your thoughts, acknowledging them, shifting them on when you need to, because they're going to drop in. The feelings, the comparison, the body dysmorphic, like all of those negative thoughts drop in, but it's acknowledging, like you said before, and shifting them on and starting there, right? That's a really great, like a tip that everyone could take on, is starting there and then working on the shifts and the changes.
Exactly. And yes, those thoughts, they're always going, like, even as a healed person, thoughts will come up like that. And it's about having your toolbox for how to heal and how to not go down the rabbit hole and feed the dark wolf. There's a good wolf and a bad wolf, and you got to feed that good wolf. I like to describe it. And wow. Yeah, that is deep, about how even as a healed person, it will come up. And what to do when it comes up it is a very loaded question. And if I just said the whole thing, it would take 5 hours probably.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, so the other day I looked in the mirror and I felt like I had body dysmorphia, but then I took a step back. Whenever I see it, I take a step back. I don't look. And I think to myself, first of all, values, number one, go back to your values. How would you treat your inner child? How would you treat your daughter or your son? Would you say, yeah, you look terrible? Or would you say, no, you are beautiful. Stop being hard on yourself. Give yourself credit because you are freaking amazing. I mean, maybe you wouldn't say freaking to your daughter, but,
but I would.
I love it. I'm totally for sharing and just like, oh, it's a passionate thing, But coming from a space of values first, think to yourself, yeah, it's like, would I talk to someone else like this? No, and you should always speak to yourself in the best manner, So first take a step back from the mirror. And then what I do is I do the higher self meditation. I don't sit there and meditate right away. Yeah. I've had to do that before, and I help my clients with it. But I'll close my eyes and I'll envision what my higher self looks like. She's bright. She is strong. She's a warrior. She is just ready, fiery, And by going back to that, I'll look in the mirror. And if I see a distorted image again, I don't look in the mirror again for another week. Just meditate on my higher self. Let myself enjoy the essence of life. I tell all my clients, enjoy the essence of life as well while you're taking that rest from the mirror, because it gets you out of your head, because if we're in our head, that's where the rabbit hole can be dug, So definitely when those thoughts come up, getting out of your head, meditating on what your higher self looks like. And also thinking of, I channeled this, when we feel like we see a distorted image, a lot of the time it's when we feel out of control. So it's finding, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Sorry, it's my allergy.
We can edit that part out. yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah. Go.
Right back.
Yeah, no problem. Oh no, poor thing.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay.
Yes.
Reground. We can edit that out.
Honestly, coughing and sneezing is actually a lot of confirmation.
I was going to ask you, what does this mean? It came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. But yes, confirmation. If you have like a cough spell, a sneezing spell, it's definitely confirmation.
Oh, amazing. That's cool. We can edit that little part out. Easy peasy.
Thank you so much.
You feel okay now?
Yes, it's so much better now. I took a swig of water and I coughed it out.
Excellent. So where do we leave off?
Oh, yes. I think we were talking about, I was wrapping up how to handle body dysmorphia when it comes up.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes. So yeah, and even as a healed person, it's completely natural for body dysmorphia to pop up every now and again, but it's about knowing the tools on how to conquer it and tackle it, and knowing that you are beyond your body. You are a divine human being, or your divine spirit that is ever evolving. So yeah, definitely that's super, super helpful. And
Yeah.
the whole thing. So when we feel like we're out of control, that's where body dysmorphia can get very, it can rear its ugly head,
Yeah. Stronger. Yep.
Exactly. So what I like to do is if I see a distorted image, I think to myself, it's just myself trying to control the way I look because I feel out of control in my life. So then I go in and then I say to myself, I am in complete control. I am in control. And then I think of a lot of small aspects where I'm in control. I'm in control of how much sleep that I get. I'm in control of my creativity and my business. I'm in control of the people who I let into my life, and then you go down the list, and it is incredible, Aimee, the amazing shifts that happen with my clients when we talk about control and how you actually are in beautiful control, and you don't need to control the way your body looks to be in control.
Yes, I love this because a lot of the body dysmorphia and disordered behaviors come from some kind of something's been said to you, or you're controlling your body because of a trauma, or and so I love that. So when we're in the mirror and we don't like what we see, and this can go either way, right, which is something I'll mention at the end, but when we're in the mirror, our clients don't like what they see for a wee moment, so they're stepping away from the mirror, they're reconnecting with themselves, they are thinking about ways that they are in control, they are control of the food they eat, they are control of the things they are doing, and connecting with a few more positive mindset. And because isn't it funny, we know we're in the same body we were in yesterday, but we feel so different, different segments of your day. You can feel great in the morning and not in the afternoon, or you might have an outfit on that you feel really good and then an outfit on that you don't, but it's 5 minutes apart and your body's not changed, but those thoughts still pop in that you don't look good in the mirror. So I love the taking yourself away from the mirror. That's really good. And some people, like this has happened to me because I used to be an athlete and I had terrible eating disorders when I was an athlete, and I was a lot smaller and leaner, and then now I'm just comfortable in my body and I feel good, but sometimes I feel like I'm leaner and smaller, and I look in the mirror and go, oh, I'm not that small. Like it's the other way round. Instead of feeling instead of feeling that it can go either way, you can feel bigger or smaller, and this can depend on the food you've eaten or the fight you've had or the clothes you're wearing. So those tips are awesome.
Thank you so much. And how the body, feeling like it looks different, even like in a 5-minute interval or like a day interval, that is so natural. It happens. And something that is so helpful for that is reassuring yourself that, like, going from a fact, so we go from values to how we treat ourselves to the fact that scientifically, as we both do personal training, scientifically, the body isn't able to change like that. Like, remember the good image that you saw of yourself yesterday or 5 minutes ago, and keep that in your mind. And if you see a distorted one, immediately look away and just be like, no, I look exactly like the beautiful, sexy goddess that I today or 5 minutes ago.
So you just mind.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also loved that when you said stepping away from the mirror and imagine your higher self. Who do you want? And that wasn't aesthetics. That was a feeling. I'm confident. I'm fierce. I'm strong. It wasn't, I'm a size 10. I weigh 60 kilo and I have a six pack. It was actually about how you want to feel. Who are you? And so I really loved that tip too. And it is all about the mind and where your thoughts are going.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. As you said it, it's true. And oh, wow. The channel I'm getting right now is that when you said that, it brought me to something that they want me to say on here, which is people have experienced a lot of near-death experiences. It's happened to a lot of people. And when it happens, it's all about this. They don't feel their body, they're experiencing just sheer emotions and freedom of like. And when people talk about near-death experiences, they're not talking about what they feel like they look like or anything. They're just their spirit and how their spirit feels so free and effervescent and bright. And that is exactly what happens when people see their higher selves. Like, yes, they do see an image, but they feel these emotions. Life is about experiencing. Life is about experiencing. And when you said how I mentioned how I feel like my higher self is fierce and bright and everything, that brought me to them reminding me, Amanda, talk about the experience of life and how just incredible it is. And that is what matters, is the experience of life. Like, in reality, something that can help a lot of people not obsess about the way they look, is that people will remember you for your aura, your essence, your energy, the experience you bring, the light you shine, how you make other people feel. It's not about, like, if you go to I hate to bring up a funeral service, but if you go to someone's funeral service, they're not talking about, oh, that
How
person,
she looked.
right? She had abs. Oh, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no.
The eulogy. Yeah. What do you want? Well, that's something to think about, right? Is what do you want people to say about you? They're not going to stand up and say she's such a great person with abs. They're going to be remembering, and I think
Exactly.
that's something like it's a good topic. We're probably nervously giggling because we're talking about a funeral, but but like, it's true. But we are who we are as a person, and we are more than our bodies. And I think people deserve to look and feel good, and that
Definitely.
might mean to them they look good, but your looking good is a feeling. So it comes from how you feel about you. So these little shifts are going to help people in all of these areas when it comes to body image, is those little shifts on anchoring into what does feel good.
Exactly.
And looking in the mirror and seeing that distorted picture of themselves doesn't feel good. So take that away and go and work on and focus on what is feeling good, what you can control, the things you can change. This is self-mastery to me. This is mastering yourself, because it will go in all areas of your life, not just body image, not just that stuff. Is once you can acknowledge, it's self-mastery, isn't it?
It is such self-mastery. It is. And self-mastery of the spirit and the mind.
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of people who don't understand the work that we do, it's never take it personal. I just want to tell everyone out there, because just because people don't understand energetic work and shifting from within, it's you're triggering them, because you're supposed to be teaching them a lesson. You're a big reflection for them. So literally, I think we mentioned before about talking about what it's like for clients to be around their families, and if they say things that, and what I have to say about that is, you're meant to trigger them, and they're meant to learn, and the best thing I can say about people who don't understand spiritual work and shifting from within is to lead by example. Just be like, show how good that you feel doing energetic work, and just lead by example. That is the best you can do for people that don't understand.
And that's boundaries as well. So this was a great question from a client that was posed, right? She has had some mindset shifts, and a year ago it would have been a kilo shift she was chasing, and she's so excited about these mindset shifts. And it's the relationship with her body, it's the body image, it's looking at health and wellness from a mindset and intuitive point of view. And she's wanting to celebrate that, and she has been disheartened by the response of her family. And we have this, right? We are in a home, we have husbands, children's, mothers, friends that feel like when we're celebrating something they don't understand, that my client was getting lost for words. How do I approach them? Because I want to share my journey, but they're not celebrating me because it's not an aesthetic change. And she was kind of, and this happens a lot, right? Other people can sabotage you or say things that will upset you because they don't understand where you're coming from, and they don't have to. That's their journey. We're in our journey. So I think it's a boundary, and just also sharing it with people that maybe do understand, and putting yourself in an environment with others that you can talk about this stuff with openly. And, and because if you don't, you lose it, and you go back to how you were, you go back to the ones that surround you, and it is who you surround yourself with as well, right? With these journeys, and being able to, jump into spending time with people like you and I, or in a group where you can be celebrated for these shifts, and you can grow, and you can change internally with full acceptance and no judgment, and share what you can with others. But like you said, lead by example and stick to your guns, stand your ground, have your boundaries, and I think it is tough for some people wanting to share something with their mum, say, and their mum's negative, and it just hurts their heart.
Absolutely. And heart goes out to people who are struggling with this, because I too have struggled with this kind of thing, and especially with some people going through their eating disorder and maybe gaining weight at first in recovery, or maybe going on a fitness journey and maybe gaining weight at first, or even maybe the opposite, doing things like having shifts happen in their body that maybe other people don't approve of, I put in quotes, around them, and helping them to see and not take it personally, and how to keep those boundaries. I love what you said about boundaries. Yes, because in essence, I did channel this yesterday. I was thinking about this one, and let me just pull it out here, because it is very, very important. So it's about, have you ever heard the saying, don't throw pearls before swine? I think it's like a scripture or something like that, but don't throw pearls before swine, or don't throw pearls before dogs. So what that means spiritually is, if you know someone isn't going to honor the value of something that you're doing, or they're not going to understand, just keep it to yourself. And it's where boundaries come in, and you surround yourself with more people who understand the energetic work. Surround yourself with people who are body positive, who love the process, who aren't going to be like, you didn't change it, or what's going on,
but you didn't lose weight.
Exactly. And honestly, true fitness goals happen over a slow, gradual period of time. Some people who don't understand it, they're just raised differently. They're doing their best with what they know.
Where they're at, right? So, and this is proof in the pudding. Where they're at is just not a place you're at, and you may have been there a year ago, and you've evolved. So, and another, I think, response here to let people know is, it's okay if someone else has a different opinion. You just don't have to engage in trying to convince them. You don't have to engage in having an argument, because it's something else that comes up is, like I have people, some clients that maybe aren't drinking, and their friends are saying, well, why aren't you drinking? Or they're looking after their nutrition, and their friends are saying, oh, you're on another diet, and they don't want to engage in the conversation. And guess what? You don't have to engage. If someone says something negative to you, go, okay, and end it there, or that's fine, and not engage in the conversation. You know where your heart's at. They're okay where they're at. You can't convince someone otherwise. And just be really mindful about what you're sharing, who with, and what your response is, rather than reacting. Just respond and go, okay, or that's fine. And like you said, sharing it with people that will be positive for them.
Exactly. And the more that we do surround ourselves with people who are supportive, it's that internal shift is showing. When we finally don't have the energy for judgment, like judgmental people,
Yeah.
surround ourselves with positive people, it shows that we're no longer judging ourselves too.
Yes. Yeah.
Big direction. And yes, and what you said just previously right there, that was very good too, about not engaging in the negative self-talk, I like to say,
Yeah.
or making feeding the fire,
Yes.
so energetically to spiritually protect yourself from feeling like someone's throwing their anger at you or their fear at you. Picture literally a mirror in front of you, set the intention, ask God, ask your guides and your angels to put an energetic mirror in front of you that will bounce off all of their negativity, and literally it'll bounce right off, and it helps not engaging in what they're saying to be easier as well. I wrote that in all caps right here because I was like, this is going to help so many people. I've
Yes.
had times, yeah, with becoming a healer and stuff like that. I've had to use this mirror,
Yes.
because there's going to be judges out there. So
I love that. I love that. And I actually I did a boundaries workshop with another amazing lady, and she said a similar thing. I love the mirror analogy. And she did say putting, like when she goes to the mall, or you don't want to accept that negative energy, is putting a bubble, or I love the mirror, so that you're not absorbing the energy and you can literally imagine reflecting it back.
exactly, the energetic shield. My gosh, yes. I do that with my clients. Energetic shield. It's huge. I do it every 24 hours.
Oh wow, it's so good. And it's all stuff to learn, right? And like stuff I'm learning along the way as well, is to just give it back. And when you start to feel off, or when someone makes you feel off, and you can just reflect that back. So I love that as a super simple tool.
Oh yes, it's
Yeah.
simple, works, right? Like it's so powerful.
Awesome. I'm just reading over another wee question here to see what we have covered. So there's 2 questions which we may be able to bring together. Tips on adding to our daily routines around embracing who we are. And also, let's dive into that first before the next one. So what tips have you got around daily routines and embracing who we are?
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is a good one. I definitely am a big believer in routines, and how the mind, like literally the routines that we do, integrate into our mind, body, and spirit. So what I do is, now what's going to help first with this, what I'm going to say is, we're all energy. We're all energetic beings. Everything's energy around us. You're energy, I'm energy, and we all vibrate at different frequencies. Different experiences vibrate at different frequencies. Like the experience of going for a run and then feeling that runner's high, that's a very high vibe experience. Being by the ocean is a very high vibe experience. Yes. It's so wonderful, right? And being scared, low vibe, it's a low vibe. Let's see, gratitude is one of the most highest vibe vibrations, and the higher in vibration we are, the closer we are to our higher self and God,
and
our
we
God.
call in all the goodness. I'm obsessed with Abraham Hicks and the vortex, and
yes,
like all of that. Yes,
that is work I do basically.
and the vortex. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Amen.
Yeah.
But yes. Oh my God, I could go down a total rabbit hole with that. But by waking up first thing in the morning and immediately going off on a list of 5 things that you're grateful for, that is what I do every single morning. I literally think of 5 things that I'm grateful for, no matter how crazy my week might have felt, or no matter how many things I've been bombarded with. I think of 5 things that I'm grateful for, and they could be small, they could be big. Like, I'm grateful for the bed I'm in. I'm grateful for my hair and how it stayed in my head and it didn't fall out, even though I bleached it, things like that. It's the little things. And
and I think that's another good topic, that it doesn't have to be big. It can be that the sky is blue, or that the rain is falling. Like, it can be the smallest of things.
It can be. And it could be the scent of your candle. It could be something that just brought you joy, who knows, you and a friend might have had fought and then you made up. Oh my
Yes.
God. That's,
Yeah.
you shared, it's thinking of those emotions, and then all of a sudden you're in your heart. Then you're starting your in your heart. And when you're in your heart, that is, gratitude is your heart, and it makes you just feel the love for life. So that is definitely the first thing I do every day to help. And it helps you embrace who you are, because when you embrace life, you embrace experiencing it, and your body is you experiencing it. So that's definitely something that helps a grand ton. Then what I do is I meditate for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Meditate for 10. Yes, I do. Like, I look up a morning meditation on YouTube, and I literally picture my higher self and her, like, I do a channeled meditation for myself. Like, I'll see her walking on a beach, and I'll see and feel the essence of her passion and her joy and things like that, and I'll read over my list of 125 attributes that I give to all my clients to do. So it's those attributes of, I'm caring today because I did this. I'm loving because I did this. I'm smart because I did this. Things like that. And they accumulate over time. So I read over them every day. I drill them into my head. So like it's all about beating the negative thoughts before they get there. You gotta beat them, be there first. You're strong. So
and I love like, I know meditation's important. And when I first started doing that, I found it really difficult. And something I think the audience should know, and the people listening should know, is it's mindfulness, right? And it's stopping those thoughts so you can have clarity and calm. And it doesn't have to look a certain way. So I was thinking, am I meditating right? My mind's going over here, my eyes sneakily opening, like, you're not doing it wrong, right? And I'm the same. I go on Insight Timer or YouTube, and even if you can start with 2 minutes and then grow that to 5 and then grow that to 10, and you do, it's practice. And with some of my clients, with some wee challenges I do with them, is start with 5 or 10 minutes of mindfulness, of sitting and just being with your thoughts. And I think that's a really good, for those that haven't meditated, a really good start to just stopping and sitting. And then I get them to acknowledge, what they're experiencing with these thoughts. And then, so some people are new to meditation, and it's just something I love to mention, because I feel like it can be scary and you think you're doing it wrong, but you can't go wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You really can't. It's by sitting and doing it, you're setting the intention and telling God, like, hey, I'm ready to receive positive emotions and vibrate at a higher frequency,
Yeah. And if your life is feeling chaotic, or you're stressed, or things are happening, it's so pivotal to stop for that moment, and that will embrace who they are, and that will help them with their daily routine. And it will, the gratitude, the meditation, it helps start your day on the right foot. So your daily routines and your healthy habits are going to be so much easier when you're coming from that space, rather than hitting snooze, racing out of bed, rushing, stressing, So how can you embrace who you are and embrace your daily routines if you're not starting on the right foot for the day?
Exactly. When you're starting with those high vibe emotions, and because when we start off with rushing all over the place, it's starting from a point of stress, and we don't want to start vibe state. Exactly.
Yes.
So I said that any better. That was perfect. That is the point to the gratitude in the morning, the meditation. Exactly. And also listening to affirmations will energetically shift your brain as well. So I always put my earbuds in, I go for a walk, and I listen to my affirmations. Sometimes I listen to my own voiceover of, like, I am smart, I am focused, I am driven, I'm passionate, I deserve the abundance. My work is of massive compensation, things like that, and listening to the affirmations, that is huge in your morning.
Yeah. So you're not listening to the negative thoughts, you're putting in there some really healthy, positive thinking, and you can connect with that. Yeah, the subconscious mind, right? It's doing all the work in the background you don't even know when you're feeding it that goodness.
It it's incredible how much power happens. And so this is where energetic healing comes in as well. When we first wake up and when we
Yes.
fall asleep.
That's our
Right.
highest energy, isn't it? When we're first getting up in the morning, as we're, and it's a chance to reset and leave all the shit behind. If we've had a shitty day the day before, we go to sleep, we hit the reset button, and in the morning, I believe is that our highest energy and when we're most powerful. Is that right? Yeah.
It is right in the morning. So, and also what's funny is that, so our souls are ever evolving. And I was speaking with other energetic healers and we were all getting like this sort of channeled like message about this time at 3 a.m. So a lot of people call it like the ghost hour or something. It's like, no, people sometimes will wake up at 3 a.m. because literally, spiritually, all of our humanity is evolving, and 3 a.m. is another immense time to manifest and think about what you want in life. Like if you randomly wake up at 3 a.m., it's an energetic shift that's just happening. So that's going to be a new prime time to be at your highest.
And that's funny you say about the 3 a.m. because also when you're looking at your body, our body does its detoxing. And at 3 a.m. is around about when your body's finished the detoxing process. And so, like, it is, I'm big on the cycles, the moon, our menstrual cycle as well, and our body cycles. And so a lot of people can wake at 3 a.m. because their body's searching for some glucose because it's done its physical work of detoxing. But also the energetic shift, I've heard this as well, at 3 a.m. is the same. So they all run on a cycle together, right? The sun and the moon and our bodies and energetics. So at 3 a.m. is that time. It's that time. So yeah.
It is. It's like your body just got done working out and it needs like glucose and protein,
Yeah. So nutritional tip for that, if you do wake at 3 a.m. is a little bit of carbs and fat before you go to bed so that you've got the sustained energy. And it just helps some people, but I know the energy is high then as well. It's so interesting when you dive into all aspects, isn't it? And I love combining the physical and the spiritual realms together.
Me too. That's why you and me are like soul family, hun.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't realize you were a fitness instructor until you said. I was like, oh, no wonder.
Yes. I even when I workouts with people, I tell them, vision gold light, see gold light going into that muscle working.
Yeah, and it's so much more. And you know what? I used to be the trainer that did the hard and fast and all that. And I'm a power lifter. Like I love training, gold medals. I'm there, but the mindset and how you're treating yourself emotionally and spiritually and listening to you and your body, that is the tool and the key far beyond the exercise you're doing. Nutrition, I believe, is a massive part of the healing puzzle as well, and your body will follow. Once you nail this stuff and start embodying it into your life, your body composition will follow when you're doing this inner healing.
It does. It completely follows, and we have the power to manifest the way that our body is being. So we can metabolism, we can manifest a slower metabolism, we can manifest dysmorphia, we can manifest healing from it. Like when we were talking about the tactics for body dysmorphia, that is manifesting healing. And incredible the how quickly we can build muscle. Like my whole life I tend to have built muscle pretty quickly, and I did some readings on it, and it's because of my mindset being my mindset, and energetically I've intuitively been. So what's interesting is that if we also not feeling safe in your body can also lead to a slower metabolism, but also not feeling safe can lead to building muscle faster because then you're ready to.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love this. It's probably a really good time to talk. And this is one of the things that really attracted me to you was the ailments and we have with our body and that spirit, the why, the spiritual connection. So like this is a big thing I did want to talk about with you today. So that's so interesting. And I know people hold on to weight or build muscle as a protection. And that's so funny. I'm laughing because of course I love muscle mass and weight. And I'm like, I was keeping myself safe all these freaking years.
Yes. And it's about it's like, whoa, it's like, wow, like such an aha moment. Like, no wonder I was able to build so much more muscle than or something, and it's funny. It really is. And what's funny is that with also metabolism, so if we also feel unsafe, sometimes it's either one or the other. Either metabolism will slow if we feel unsafe, or we'll build muscle faster, actually. Yeah. So yeah, which is interesting. And we can, by telling ourselves we are safe, we can increase our metabolism, but also it is possible to energetically heal and build muscle because we are safe, and just build muscle for a different reason. Instead of building muscle feel unsafe, we're building muscle so we can experience life to our full potential. So that's another affirmation to tell yourself. So you continue to build the muscle and increase your metabolism while knowing that you're safe. You're just building muscle to enjoy life to the fullest potential.
Yes. And I love the whole analogy behind building muscle, because you can use that in practicing anything. Practicing self-love, practicing body image. You're building a strength, you're building a muscle, so that's stronger all of the time. So the analogy of building muscle literally and building muscle in getting better at something, you're building that strength muscle to be a stronger, better, resilient, confident person.
Exactly. Oh, so well said. Oh my gosh. I got chills when you said that, because I think you're really going to touch the lives of like a strong, like I'm feeling the number 5, like 5 people needed to hear that. That was incredible.
I love
girl.
that.
Wow,
Love that. And so if we keep on this topic, what is a reason spiritually that people hold on to weight? And the other thing was bloating. So these are 2 very common, with clients. They might be doing everything or feel like they're doing everything right, the nutrition, the training, the consistency, and they're holding on to weight. So what's your you're in your field holding on to weight? And the other thing is bloating. Like, what can this mean spiritually?
Of course. Oh my gosh. Such a great question. Bloating is awful, and I can't wait to help you all listening with that. But first, I'll talk about the weight gain real quick. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna adjust my camera. Can you cut that out? Okay. So with weight gain, what I see a lot so I always ask the collective, meaning the angels and everything, the main thing that people tend to gain weight about. And it's the essence of feeling unsafe, yes, but I asked to break it down. And a lot of it has to do with not feeling like you can be yourself. So holding back. And then at the end of the day, feeling the need to put on weight to feel safe, so people can't see who you really are, because I feel a lot of spirits feeling like they've been through some sort of trauma that made them, like a lot of people amongst my clients will say, my gosh, man, my metabolism was so fast up until I was like 13, and then something happened, and they tell me their life story. I do a reading on it, and time again I see that they maybe went through being bullied at a time, and then that made their metabolism slow. They got their parents divorced, all of a sudden the weight gain happened, or they may have had a loss, some sort of trauma happened that made them feel less than worthy. And it's so sad, and my heart goes out to all of clients, that people going through this, because I too was there before as well. I went through a state of being bullied, and then my metabolism slowed down because I felt like I couldn't be myself because I was bullied for being myself.
Yeah.
So Yeah, the way to cure it is, obviously see a healer, but also just facing the emotions and letting yourself be your true, authentic self. And waking can happen in like small ways. So I always tell people to go through the 5 or 8 areas of life to see where they're not being true to their authentic self. So I'm like, is it, yeah, right. Is it with your friendships? Is it with relationships, family, financial? Like when we go down the list and we see where it is, and then we go in there and then we see where they're not being their true authentic self. And then we do the work and then boom, they're like, Amanda, I'm noticing my metabolism's increasing. And I'm like, it almost brings a tear to my eye to see how powerful the energetic work is, and how trauma can stay lodged in the body. And literally, your psoas is right down here. It's where your metabolism really is emitting the energy. And it's amazing how many reads I've done for people who've been through trauma, and like I'll see like it like a dark object like lodged into there, and I'm like, did you go through trauma 7 years ago? And they'd be like, oh my god, yeah. And we go in and fix it.
Yeah, and I know for women we keep a lot of trauma through our pelvis and hip area, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, around that area. So it just intrigues me so much, and I think it's something you like personally I would want to work with a healer and not try and do the guesswork. It's going to speed up the process of figuring out, because you actually probably may not know what the root cause could be, and to work with someone else will bring that more to the surface a lot faster, wouldn't it? And having that support to work through it.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
a safe space, which you and I really do have safe spaces. And I just love that so much, that there's more people coming out to be safe spaces for this kind of energy work, because it's effective and it's being talked about more. And it's just so freeing, isn't it? That we have this knowledge now, that and it's families really erupting in this lifetime, and where God allowing us to shine through and help others with this incredible soul work.
Yeah, so when I was 16, I read and got given the book How to Heal Your Life from Louise Hay, and so I've always loved metaphysics, and then I lost my way for a while with it, and just the last 5 years, I guess, really, and you feel so at home when you start acknowledging the side of things, and How to Do the Work by Nicole, is it Dr. Nicole LaPrez? I never can say her last name, but diving into, learning how to do this stuff, because it actually really freaking matters. And I think women don't need to settle for feeling low, feeling down, not enjoying their body, not enjoying their life. And so diving into all of this really can help them break free and have the freedom they all want.
Exactly.
Which is far beyond a number on the scale. So
it is.
I love it. And I love that we can, get it out there a lot more to more people and help them. So bringing it back to, so that's weight, and then bloating. That's something else that can happen a lot.
Bloating. Oh my gosh. Yes. So this will definitely resonate with a lot of people, because have you ever felt like you were in an uncomfortable situation, and then all of a sudden like you have bloating and you're like, I have to go to the bathroom and let out the air. Yeah. And it's uncomfy. It really is. And so the spiritual meaning behind bloating is we are letting ourselves be in a certain situation that we don't have to be in, but we're letting ourselves be in a situation where we can't be ourselves. And time again, I see this in my clients, and it's like, whoa, it's like, wow, how this works and how much it resonates is incredible. Energetically, we can manifest, if we actually have like a rash, it means we're irritated at ourselves for something we're not doing in our life, and we can unmanifest. So how to unmanifest bloating is surrounding yourself with people who let you be completely authentic to you and who support you, because that's all bloating is. Bloating is feeling like you can't own your power, because it's a form of an allergy. Your body can't process whatever is going into your body, and the spiritual meaning behind allergies is denying your own power. So
I
So powerful.
love it. I love it. I get so excited to hear, because you can change this. You can work
It's
on this stuff and not have these things happen. And you can change
right.
the situation. Yeah.
And incredible. And just how freeing that is, how we are in so much more control of our reality than we think, from our experiences to our bodies, like literally. And I hope that'll help a lot of people out there with bloating, like
Yeah.
literally just don't settle for less. Don't settle for an experience where
In
you
a
can't be
situation. Yeah.
situation. Yeah. I don't care if it's a great job offer where you feel so uncomfortable and always bloated. It's higher self telling you to get the bleep out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it. And I guess there's so much to dive into here, but I thought those two were really probably high on the list for a lot of people to talk about. So thank you so much for that. There's a few other questions here. If you're happy to dive into these, how to stop the disordered thinking around food. I can't stop once I open a bag of chips. The food pulls me from the pantry. And I love this because it comes from stories as well. So I cannot wait to hear your side of things, and your response to this. But I know that we label ourselves, right? Like, I'm a binge eater, or I'm always like, and we've labeled ourselves this. I can't stop at the bag of chips. But what if
Right?
you say I can have three and then that's all, and start saying that instead of I can't, or the kitchen's calling me? Well, you're telling yourself the kitchen's calling you. And I used to binge on food and now I don't. And I don't even know. I think I just stopped allowing that behavior and those labels I had on myself to heal from my eating disorders and binge eating. And it's quite
Exactly.
hard for me to explain to clients, the actual process I'd done. So I can't wait to hear your response with this one.
Of course, of course. And just a disclaimer, I feel you. Like, I've been there too. I feel like every person who's healed from their eating disorder, we know what it's like to be in that spot where you're caught in labeling yourself. And then when you realize how much damage that does to you, you're like, you have that aha moment. And it's like, oh my God, I've been labeling myself like this. And
Yeah.
this is happening. So, oh gosh, this is deep. So, when we go through life, our beliefs shape our reality. That is deep, right? Our beliefs shape our reality. So it's like I was listening to this one healer. His name's Aaron Dowdy. He says a lot of really deep esoteric ideas. And the one was a baby elephant. If you chain a baby elephant to a peg that when it's older, it can rip out of it. If you chain it there forever, it'll never leave the peg because it believes it can't leave that peg. It believes I am a chained wild animal and I can't leave. I just can't. I've never left it before, so I'm not going to leave. But literally, someone could just pick it up and they could go, or they could just run and it'd be gone. So, same goes with labeling yourself.
Yes.
If you constantly keep something, if you constantly keep saying something to your subconscious is going to believe it. And then it's going to happen. If you say, oh, processed carbs, then guess what? The more you say it, the more you're actually not going to be able to process carbs so well.
Yes.
So, right. So it's about instilling those positive beliefs. And I know what you mean when I hear people get down on themselves and say, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I just want to like hold them so tight and close and say, no, stop doing this to yourself, like bless yourself with your words, like words have so much, like energetically, every type of word, positive words, negative words have different vibrations, and only shower yourself with high vibe words. So for example, instill positive beliefs to help with disordered thinking around food. So for instance, by saying, I can process food efficiently. I have a beautiful balance in my life and I have beautiful self-control. That's something that you can say to yourself and then immediately think of a memory. I don't care how long ago it was. Think of a memory when you were able to just enjoy a piece of cake at the end of a dinner and feel satisfied and not feel like you wanted more. So that's telling like, yeah, right. Like,
Finding
so
the evidence there that, you know, it's possible.
exactly, you know what's possible, and you're again suffocating that old neural pathway, and you're feeding the positive neural pathway. You're energetically making a huge energetic healing shift, and it is just incredible. And it might be hard for some people to start off going from saying I'm a binge eater just now saying I have self-control. I let myself have balance in my life. I am allowed to, my body can process a small bowl of chips, or my body can process a piece of cake. It might be hard, and my heart goes out to people making a transition, because you and me have been there. It's
Yeah.
weird, all
And
of a sudden, but if that happens, it's incredible. It's about
yeah,
showering the
it is, and
affirmation.
changing that inner dialogue, and it's so important that people connect with it. And there's lots of strategies you can use with binge eating or emotional eating. There are strategies, and I think clients or the audience and people listening need to find what actually is going to work for them. But if you start with, again, with all of these areas, it's changing, acknowledging that thought that comes up and rewiring it. What in this moment can you say instead? And take your power back from that inner dialogue that you used to have. Take your power back and go, actually. And if you want to, like I say to some clients, wait, walk away and have a drink of water, and then see how you feel. And by then, normally you probably don't need, you're not going to binge or to emotional eat. And if that works, then do that. But I think you do have to acknowledge what you're saying to yourself and that inner dialogue, and learn to really rewire it.
Exactly. See what you're saying, learn how to rewire it into a positive mindset. Exactly. And learning how to catch yourself. So, and learning what's going on when you feel like you want to binge eat. And I'm so glad we're talking about binge eating disorder, because it's something that definitely should be talked about more, because a lot of people, they get shy about it and
Yes.
embarrassed. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that we have a safe, and sometimes we don't even know what we're thinking in a moment of emotional eating. So I love what you said about taking a moment, pausing, taking a sip of water, reevaluating. I love that so much. And
Yeah.
what helps is breath work, where some intuitive healing happens. So breath work. So taking a 5-count inhale with a 2-count hold, and then a 6-count exhale, and then a 6-count inhale, 2-count hold, and then a 7-count exhale. That definitely helps. And then all of a sudden asking God to see your higher self. Picture higher self giving you a huge hug, and then opening your eyes whenever you're ready, going out in nature, grounding yourself, and then picture yourself being connected to gold and pink light. So you're grounding yourself in earth energy, and you're connecting yourself to God's love and God's energy. Picture the gold light filling you up from head to toe. Picture the pink light filling you up from toe to head. And then you will really notice a huge difference. Like, that's an energetic standpoint to look at it from as well, mixed with
I love
psychological.
that.
It's
Yeah, I love that advice. And like I said before, I love Abraham Hicks, and so I love that, imagining the light going from down and then up. And she says 17 seconds. If you can shift that thought onto a better focused thought for 17 seconds, then you will hold on to the new thought train. So taking yourself
perfect.
away and doing that breath, imagining the lights, and it's going to completely change where you're at vibrationally and mentally, and it's a whole reset, and you can just move on with the day. And looking at days like that in segments, you don't have to give in to the labels you're already using. You are in charge, and you get to choose the actions you take.
Exactly. You are in charge, and it is the reset. I love that 17-second thing you talked about.
Yes.
That is so true. I love how into you and me are into the esoteric side of things and the metaphysical, because that is
Yeah.
energy work. And it
Yeah.
is, I'm just grateful that we're integrating it into body image. And that is what I do. I just love integrating it all. And so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah,
We
it
have the,
really is.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
it
and I
really
know,
is.
and because we've been there before, I think we understand the physical and the in your head side of it. Like, it's hard to break free of that. And sometimes thinking, oh, taking 17 seconds and imagining golden pink light, but for some that feels so hard, but it takes a second to go and do that. Like, and you can stand there and eat the bag of chips and say, I can't stop eating the bag of chips, and you can feel guilty and you can feel shame and you can feel like you're not evolving and growing, or you can choose to stop and go, hang on a moment, I get to choose what action I take here. Am I going to go down that road, or am I going to, go down this road and see where that takes me, and have no guilt and shame, and raise that vibration and the thought pattern. And this is how the healing happens, and you're getting out of your head.
Exactly. You're getting out of that moment. Exactly.
Yeah.
And by every moment is a new moment. Like like right now, new moment. Oh, that moment's gone.
Yeah.
New moment.
Yeah. The little segments. I heard that one day and I loved that analogy, that we have segments all day long, and we can we can sit in that segment and let that crappy moment last all day, or we can go, okay, work through that segment and we're in a new segment. What are we doing with this? And it can be, just a couple of minutes apart.
Exactly. It's incredible. And with binge eating disorder, it can feel hard. And like, I get it. Like when it's easy to stay in that moment of feeling guilt and shame, but in knowing that life is ever evolving and moments are changing, and you have a new moment, a new restart, literally every single split second, it's helpful to snap you out of the binge eating moment.
Yeah, and it's just so healing, and this is the work that needs to be done. So it's really important to acknowledge that if you are a binge eater, or you are going through body dysmorphia or body image, these are the changes that need to be made. Yeah, so taking it really seriously. So there's two other questions left, and they kind of go hand in hand. So it's accepting the new you, it's accepting the number on the scale and that not meaning anything. I know that's a bit of a separate topic, but there's one more here which is similar. How do you align with what's in your head and what you see in the mirror? So basically, I believe these questions are, how do we make these changes and keep realigning, knowing we don't mean the number on the scale and that we aren't who we were yesterday? And how do we align? Like, it's alignment, right? So how do we feel that shift in alignment? And because we're uncomfortable now, because we're not sitting in that comfort zone of the crappiness, and we're getting uncomfortable when we're healing, and you do feel like a different person, and that can feel uncomfortable, like you don't know who you are, you don't know what to believe, you feel really shaken up. So how do we sink into that alignment as we grow and evolve and heal?
Exactly. Like how to embody the new you, and how to know that you deserve to feel good and stay in this space.
Yeah.
That is so, so powerful. So with that, it's about, because I get it, like sometimes in my healing process, I would feel so high vibe, and then I'd feel scared of, going back to old self, but the way to stay in the new aligned, the new you, is basically having fun with the new you, having fun with her. That's what I always say. And it's about having serious, like long lasting fun, because I know old self might have done old habits of feeling like I have to lose X amount of weight to do this. New you are now spiritually awakened. You are more than your body. That your body follows suit to your mind and your spirit, and she's growing and she's evolving. So you do those things that you said you were going to do, and you lose X amount of weight, because you don't need to lose X amount of weight now to do those things. So that goes with having fun with the new you, going for the things that you said you were going to do with those old rules, and just doing it now. Yeah. Because you, and it's so powerful. And just of remembering that old self wanted to just keep changing their appearance to get validation or whatever, and that was just a temporary high. Knowing that old you lived off of temporary highs. Now knowing that new you is living off of long lasting highs, getting involved in your passion you said you were going to do and doing it. Because that is a long lasting high.
Yeah.
'Cause yes. And just having fun, being in the long lasting highs, and just basically just being free and finally doing the things that you said you were going to let yourself do.
Yeah, I love that you said having fun, and I use that all of the time, like play with things, have fun with
Right.
things, like try new clothes and do things that are childlike and bring that fun, and just
Yeah.
be okay and give yourself permission just to be in that new
Yeah.
person. And because I tell you what, it feels a hell of a lot better than being in that obsessed, strict, negative, sick mind, like it feels better, doesn't it, to have fun and feel free and live like that. So although that old self might want to come in sometimes, we're anchoring into the feel good, the confidence, the in charge, the fun, the playful, because it feels better.
It feels so much better. And you can get addicted to that beautiful,
Yeah.
natural, and it's about just sticking with it. And that's what healers are there for too. If you ever feel like you're having trouble sticking with it and knowing your worth, that you are worthy of having fun and feeling good, then get a healer with that, or surround yourself with people that are positive about your journey. And I can't get over what you said about living a life on purpose and passions and how fun it is. And when you're in your purpose, it's like, so energy is never created nor destroyed. So the energy that old self was putting into obsessing over the body and what he or she looks like, old self took that energy and put it there. But now we're taking that energy and transforming it into being focused on purpose and thriving on purpose. Once it's there, once all that energy that you used for negativity is now in positive energy, it ain't gonna move. When you're on purpose, there's just about it.
Yeah, and also beyond the body. And once we've done this work on us, you watch the rest of your life unfold and unfold. The relationships are amazing. The conversations amazing. You become more abundant financially. You have opportunities you never thought you were going to have. Like it all starts in here and in here, and then in my forgot we're on a podcast, in your mind and in your heart, and it will expand, and it will just make life everywhere a hell of a lot better.
It does. When you're literally in a state of alignment, everything aligns, everything falls into place. And it's just such a beautiful healing process that I'm sure you can relate to, seeing your clients just grow and blossom like this.
Amazing.
And it's amazing, right? It's incredible. It really is.
I love it. I live for it. I do. I really love it. I have clients and I'm just literally sometimes I have a tear, and just going from my journey and helping them as well. So it's so important. So that was the last of the questions. Is there anything else you want to add? And of course, please tell us where we can find you and what have you got happening at the moment? Like if anyone wants to work with you, I know you've got an awesome masterclass coming up, and what else is happening for you? And of course, I'll be putting these for people in the show notes as well to be able to come and find you. But where can we find you? Is there anything else you want to add? And please tell us about your masterclass.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Of course. So first I'll tell y'all where to find me. So on TikTok, I'm A Renee Intuitive Healing, and same with on Instagram. I am A Renee Intuitive Healing. I stuck to the same name so that I'm easy to find. And on YouTube. Yes, thank you. And on YouTube, you can find my YouTube through my Instagram. So I have a direct link right there. I'm Amanda Renee on YouTube. There's so many Amanda Renees. So I have the direct I have the direct link from Instagram to my YouTube. And my masterclass, oh my gosh, thank you so much for mentioning that. It is exciting. It's energetic body healing. So basically it's about the metaphysical work that you and me spoke about. It is about how higher self literally loves us so much that he or she will manifest different physical ailments in our body when we're out of alignment or even in alignment. So you'll manifest healing when you're in alignment. And if you're out of alignment, your body will tell you, higher self will tell you through your body. And it shows how divine we really are. So I go through a list of about 50 physical ailments in my workshop. And then I give you the spiritual meaning behind it. It's so exciting, I know. And then we choose a physical ailment to go in and heal from and see what caused it. What was the root cause? I use my intuitive ability to help people pinpoint what was the root cause. Like I love to have some people come to me about like eczema or skin disorders or everything under the sun, and I help them go back and intuitively see what was it that caused what's going on. And time again, a lot of people come here with so much success, and I'm so excited to run this workshop. It's happening in August. So, well, now is August, but it's happening next week. I extended enrollment for another week because I felt so called.
Yeah, so it's a workshop where they're going to learn, but they're also going to have some healing and be able to work through what's going on with them and have some coaching around that. And it sounds so good.
Oh, thank you so much. Because this work is definitely, I just want to make it so like intuitive, energetic work. I just want to make it so available to the world. And with body work and eating disorders and body image, like this work can help you heal your body image as well. Or not can, it will. And that's my calling. My calling is to be a healer and to help people heal body image through energetic healing. So
it's amazing because I really feel like it's so needed, for people to be able to move on with any, it's really needed.
Thank you so much. I feel that way too. I feel so bad for like past generations that people had to like hide these emotions. If they felt gifted, they couldn't really express it. Or if they felt like they were struggling with an eating disorder, there wasn't the internet to help people, and that brings me to the next thing I have, which is my Thursday night drop-in class. So it's like an intervention every Thursday night. Dealing with eating disorders, body dysmorphia, needing to see their higher self. That's where I offer the higher self meditation, and we do a full detox of letting out negative emotions, but acknowledging them, then becoming grateful for going through what they're going through, and then shifting their mindset. So it's really great. I made it a safe place for you to go to. If like you've just binge ate, you feel gross, you need a place to go to, it's there. So that can be found website as well.
On your website. I was about to ask where does that happen and how does that go down? So again, that's interactive. You literally will go through the healing, the meditation. And so on your website that's found, did you let us know about your website before? We've got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. What's your website handle? Of course, below on the show notes, but
oh, thank you. It is areneeintuitivehealing.wordpress.com.
Easy peasy. So cool. And that's every Thursday US time as well. And do they need to register for either the drop-in or the workshop? Do people need to register for that? And
yes, so enrollment is on the link in my Instagram for the energetic body healing workshop. So I made it easy in my bio right there, so you can click it and enroll right through the portal. And for the Thursday night drop-in class, that can be found on my website as well. Under Thursday night drop-in class, then you just scroll down to enroll here, and there it is right there. So you can enroll right there, reserve your spot.
Awesome. How good to have that available. That's so cool. And those classes, how long with the Thursday night drop-in, do you have is it a time frame you have with that, or you just let it roll and unfold?
So I have a time frame, but I also let it roll and unfold.
Yeah.
So it's 1 hour, but I always go over an hour because I let everyone's voice be heard. That's what makes my workshops different, is that at the end they get a little messy because I let it unravel and I let people talk. And by messy, I mean, I don't cut anyone's opinion off, even if it's at the end. I let everyone voice is heard. So, and I did that because when I struggled with my eating disorder, I had trouble owning my voice. And I just want people to have a safe space to own their voice and know that their opinion matters. So
because it can be confronting. How amazing. So easy to work with you. And I just thank you so much for coming on here. We've gone through so many topics, and it will be transformational for everybody that's listened, and so many easy, tangible tips that they can take away. So I appreciate you coming on here, and I can't wait to continue to collaborate with you and talk to you and watch your social media. I love watching your TikToks personally. And yeah. I love TikTok. Yeah, so great. So I appreciate you so much. And thanks for being here.
Of course. And I'm so honored to be on your podcast. Like, you are such a bright essence of a human being. And your soul radiates so much like nourishment. You're a nurturer. And I can tell your clients are so blessed to be coached by you. They really are.
Thank you so much. I just love what I do. Like you know, I love, and I feel like that's what I'm here for.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And one final thing I wanted to mention is my mentorship. If people need to be mentored energetically and they want to know what physical ailment is happening right now and what is the cause of a physical ailment, I do mentorships as well. And I help people build out their soul purpose and help them with that. So that's another thing as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think people, like a lot of people, I love one-on-one stuff. So that will really help, unfold things a lot faster and bring people to alignment. So we've got your masterclass, we've got a drop-in and mentorship as well. But if everybody can go and find you, follow you, and I'm sure it's really easy to connect that way. But the masterclass next week sounds like something that get in there and register, because that's happening really soon.
Absolutely. It's so soon. And I am so excited. Like, the shifts,
amazing.
They're incredible. They're incredible. A lot of tears, a lot of smiles. Like, it's very emotional.
Yeah, I bet. But it's transformational, right? So it brings up all sorts.
It really is. It really is. 100%. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Amanda. I will chat to you soon, but I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. And many blessings, and namaste.
Namaste.